Okay, perfect. Here we go. Hello everyone. These are results for round 2 of a SpaceChem technical demo tournament. I see many people are connecting. Hi everyone. There are a few people. I don't see Zig. I hope he'll come too, so he can join the commentary. So this round was, well, let me just show this for starters. So this was how's this thing called? Round robin, yeah. And the gimmick here is pretty simple. There are 4 completely separate. Just a moment. There are 4 completely separate parts of the react. Okay, no, this is a bit too much. And yeah, my game is suffering. Okay. Seems bad. Yeah, the load is kinda high, so we'll see how it goes. So the gimmick here is that we have 4 completely separate zones of the reactor, and we have 4 quantum tunnels. Now the 4 quantum tunnels are a community edition addition, because in the normal game you just have 2, and they work in a round robin, that's the name of the puzzle, fashion, so that 1 goes to 2, which goes to 3, goes to 4, goes to 1. And so this puzzle is about moving stuff around into these four places by using the quantum tunnels. And this is done fully double pumped, so they get their atoms, they bond them, and they're done. This is very, very fast, but it's also symbol intensive, because speed comes at a price. And in fact, this scores exactly last place, and I have a feeling whoever this is has optimized it for the wrong thing, because this is just made to be fast. There's no way this is a symbol solution, and this is a puzzle heart. Now we have the rock band solution, who has tried a little more, made some more effort to optimize for swap amount. Because let me just wait a second, I'll get the channel. Here it goes. So they've made an effort to optimize for the number of swaps. There is just one here, because the metric is number of symbols, but swaps cost 5. And this was because I wanted to incentivize some kind of solution we will see later. And this is not the kind of solution I wanted to incentivize. So we will start by doing this. Yeah, it will take a little bit of time, but we will start by doing this. There, because the Waldo used it to start here, but we can very easily make it started a little bit further along the chain. And there are no bad symbols here. There are no inputs. There are no sinks. There isn't anything that we need to preserve. So it's no issue if you start here. Now we of course have the sync dit against blue, but it's something we can fix very easily by noticing where we are landing. Oh, look, it's pretty easy. Now blue is too fast, so we will just put blue 1, 2 behind. This is actually 3 behind because of this, but again, easy. Oh wait, even easier. No, I don't see why I need my life to be difficult. I could be more precise, but I mean, there is absolutely no need. And here we go. This is exactly equivalent. It's slightly slower, but it doesn't matter. This is a simple puzzle. So we first do the right thing here, putting everything over swap parts. And now, well, when we hit swap, this gets difficult to follow. I mean, atoms shuffle around, and honestly, I'm not sure what exactly happens, but hey, atoms move around, and by some magic, we have the right pieces at the right time, and we bond them, and we auto them. Looks pretty simple. I mean, the big issue of this solution is the pathing, because this is complex pathing, this is complex pathing. I mean, why is this complex? Let's do this. Why is this so complex? There. Look how nicer is this. I think this still works. I mean, I hope it still works. Otherwise, they'll remove my SpaceChem license. Oh well, I'm still decent at it. Look. Okay, now let's stop making fun of new players and let's go ahead. Now, even though this is 45 symbols, it was actually more. It scores better than the initial solution because it has at 1, 2, 3, 4 swaps. Sorry. Now let's get it moving a little bit faster. Guilty Bystander has a pretty similar solution to the first one we've seen, but it scores way better because it has just 1, 2, and 3 swaps. So really, again, this looks too much like a cycle solution. And while there is some symbol reuse, like here, because we're bonding, and then we are bonding. So this is used twice. This is still too fast. I mean, being fast is fine, but this is clearly at the expense of symbols. But this is 32 symbols for these are 32 and then 444, 44 metric points. Still a long way. Now this looks nice. Now if you notice, we need to swap several times. And we need to bond at least 3 times because cyanogen radical has 3 bonds. So we want a timing Waldo with bonding and we want a timing Waldo with swapping. May as well do them both. And this solution does them both. Solutions of this kind are usually pretty impressive because you need to deal with a huge amount of timing issues to make this thing work. But Twiddly makes it work. And honestly, this looks pretty impressive. It looks pretty impressive. I'm a bit sad when I see all these grep drops because I know they're easier to input, but they make reading this solution much more complex. Like, are we really picking this up and then redropping it 3 times? And like, this is a bit hard to follow for a reader, but I'm sure it was slightly faster to make. And yeah, this rotate here, it is clearly needed just to readjust the timing. Because it is hit twice, one here and on the other side here, and I'm sure you need to hit it 2 times because this is a timing Waldo long 2, so you need this to be even, otherwise it will desync on the second go around, and so this is hit twice, which is pretty nice. Now guys, I'm sure you've all seen it, and I have to do this. You don't need this. Let's go on. Kerset Flames. Kerset Flames is a swap hammer. Now this was one of the most used solution types. And sorry guys, just a second. As I was saying, one of the most used solution types, because you need to swap several times and the swapping symbol costs you a lot. So why don't you put a swap symbol here, hit every time, and then somehow deal with a mess. And this is done pretty simply by dealing with the first molecule, then the second molecule, and then you have these atoms rotating all the time. And the timing is worked out somehow. Pretty impressive. I've got to say it is difficult to see why the timings work out or why they don't. I mean, it's not that hard. If the timing doesn't work out, you can put this, you can put it here, so you have you have one cycle earlier in one case, one cycle later in one case, or you lengthen this, or you lengthen this, or you lengthen this. There are a lot of moving parts you can tweak so that this apparently absurd timing can be made work with some tweaking. Now, of course, when you see this, you're like, whoa, how did you make this amazing timing work? And well, there are many timing windows in a solution like this that has so many moving parts. But exactly because it has so many moving parts you can adjust, it doesn't score that well. In fact, this is 30 symbols, and this is the first number I dropped as not particularly good in Magic. So we're still pretty far. We have Yellow Bunny here. This has a bond plus hammer, because this is the other idea. You need 3 bond pluses, because cyanogen radical has 3 bonds. So we can bond hammer. The issue of a bond hammer is that you also need to hit swap a lot of times, and placing swap symbols costs you a lot. So you need to place 1 swap symbols, and this makes everything very complicated. And in fact, I am pretty impressed by this solution that manages to hit these swap symbols so many times to make everything work. Drops here, then it comes back again, and then it swaps for the last time, and then it picks another path, and then it drops down. Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed, because it is not easy to fit all these paths to pass here a billion times. But yet again, this shows us that this isn't a particularly promising approach, because this symbol is extremely central and needs to be hit so many times going around that the pathing needed is too complicated. Just a thing here, this line that goes out is never hit, because this is the return line from this arrow that goes straight through and would go here. But when the Valdo comes back, it hits the flip-flop. This is something that is pretty commonly seen in symbols optimated solutions. And this is done because you would need to put an arrow here to make it not do this, but it's an extra arrow, so it isn't worth it. And now we are at 28, making progress. Nurture has changed colors. I think he is one of a few people that has a blue hammer. And what he's doing, it is priming all his flip-flops. Like we've seen earlier, we can start a Valdo in many positions if there aren't problematic symbols like inputs and things. And so you wanted to start at the point where all the flip-flop don't need an arrow. And this may mean this hugely long and complicated initialization loop. Like we have done 93 cycles and have done absolutely nothing. And here we're starting the first real thing, where we input, we swap and swap again and swap again. Okay. When we put stuff here and we put the first round into place, and when I guess we will swap again here, and this again you can see how complicated the routing becomes if you use one swap that isn't hammered. We swap again and we're done. And Discord crashed. Fun times all around. You will see this in the YouTube recording, and the Discord guys will see it shortly. Truly an amazing solution, truly a shitty computer. Why you do this to me, Discord? Why you do this to me? Okay, I'm back. Hello everyone. I'm sure you missed me. Okay. So, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, but your stream is down.
Yeah, no, bad things happen. Now,
yeah.
Now everything's working. Yeah, so I'm recording at another bit rate, and I think I am pretty at the limit of this poor machine. So, we are now going to Aperture, who has a pretty similar solution with.
You're still not streaming.
Why? Why I'm doing this?
The game probably crashed and closed the window.
No, the game didn't crash. Just Discord crashed.
I see.
I'm streaming now.
Yep.
Great. So I have just finished with inertial solution, and I'm looking at aperture solution. This is again
You cut out in the middle of
bond-hammer
inertials, by the
solution
way.
with this terrifying swap symbol here that does all the magic. Now this is a flip-flop with an arrow, and when I see a flip-flop with an arrow, I check what's behind the start. These are all good symbols. These are all good symbols. These are all good symbols. So I can do this. And here we go. We have seen this arrangement several times. So you bring over the first two atoms, you put them in the right place, bring over the next set, place them, and then output. Kinda simple stuff. We will, as we go on, we will see this kind of thing more and more simplified. And here it is, 25 symbols. Well, actually 26 without my tweak. The British boys. This is a much different solution. We have a complex time Valdo here that I need some time to analyze, that bonds, that swaps, and that also moves one piece around. So now we start, so we can see this well. We input and we put this into place. When we load this one, okay, and when we swap both, this puts this into place, this puts this into place, and then we output and start again. Man, this is complicated. I mean, this is pretty much the same algorithm we have seen before. It is just done by Chuwal. So yeah, nice solution. What is not very nice is this return path, because this is pretty symbol heavy. I mean, there is no obvious way to fix this, especially considering you need to be in sync with this. But if you could do something like this, now this would be less symbols. I don't think this is the right timing. You may need the flip-flops around, you may need some more complex things, but when you find yourself doing this complex return path in a symbol solution, it isn't usually a good sign. So 26. By the way, this would have lost to improve the solution of aperture. And now we go to Chaboka, who has okay, this is a swap hammer. So we come back to what is probably the most efficient approach. That is, we hammer on swap, and when we have blue doing everything else. Yet again, there is actually a lot of slack here on the swapper positions, on the points of grab, on everything else, that making the timing isn't terrible. And he has this thing where he does one and then comes back to do the other one, which is pretty compact. And it reminds me of initial solutions that were very fast but not symbol efficient. And this is symbol efficient because there is a swap hammer, and so even though these pieces here are a little heavy, you just go around one time and they look pretty nice. So about bonding, we bond twice here because we have already bonded once here, and we output. Now if you see, we need to bond 3 times, and here we have 3 bond plus symbols, and we're gonna find a way to make this better. But here it is, 26. And now it's Darius. Darius has a swap hammer, and yet again this looks like a pretty bad pathing, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of this pathing. And here we start. Okay, we have set over 2 atoms in motion, put one in place, the other one in place, go back, the other 2 atoms in motion, do the same thing, and now we bond them, and now that we grab them, we have the complete molecule, so we are not moving them anywhere, they are completed, and so we are done. And what I don't like very much about this solution is, like, can't we do something like this? I don't know if this initializes correctly. Something like this, maybe. Or maybe I've just messed up the solution, which is very possible. Yeah, I've messed up the solution. I mean, this is what happens when you touch code you do not understand. Yeah, don't touch code you don't understand. Oh well, sometimes this thing works simply, but this array of flip-flops doesn't play nicely. Okay, we are back at 25 symbols. Astro Nelson, which has a solution title I didn't really understand, so I'm sure he can explain it to us. And here we go back to a bond hammer with this swap symbol that does multiple duty. And I guess we're seeing the usual algorithm with bond hammer, that is swap twice, put into place, get ready to swap once, bond them, output them. Yeah, but this is pretty well implemented because the other line across the swapper, it's actually on a curve you have to do. So you save one arrow from, say, this would work anyway, but this is an extra arrow. And so if you can combine this back arrow with an arrow you need to put to make an angle, you save one symbol. So nice job. 25, 444. Sir, percussive maintenance. Oh, this is not a great showing for Sir. You know, you'd expect him on the next page. Yeah, there's a lot of solutions ahead of Sir. And let's see why. So yes, this swap hammer, it's the first molecule. Sir is furiously typing. I'm sure I'm getting insulted here. We have one here. We have... Oh my god. We picked this up.
This is very similar to what I did. If you look at when we look at the fun solutions.
Why we do
and
this?
Then a double. This is a timing thing for sure.
Timing thing on a swap hammer.
Yeah. He was off by 2 cycles.
Oh
so
yeah, right.
Delay.
Oh man, this is this is
I
complicated.
also got bitten by stuff like this while I was doing this.
And then you do this because you have to do this back and forth, so you have 2 bond symbols, but like you could just have 3 if you did the simple thing. And man, this is complicated. My god.
I didn't think I expected everyone's solutions to look like this. I was shocked when I saw these. But I'm sure that
yeah, I mean, we didn't.
This are much faster.
We haven't seen this algorithm. I guess we have seen similar algorithms that fix the timing more easily, but this fixes the timing in some very complex ways. And man, I'm sure this was not easy. Good.
Yeah, the timing was finicky because of 4 swappers, but
yeah, because you have all this back and forth you have to do, so you have to.
Yeah, but
miss the time.
You're always going to have some number that you have to fix, and whether it's 5 or 10 doesn't really matter.
And yeah, because you use all 4 squares here, you need to put the swap here, so you just have one window, and this is complicated. And being complicated isn't a great thing for. I mean, this is 24 symbols, so it's pretty good, but usually Serge says that he hit the timing really fast, and of course the issue of this solution is that this timing is so precise that if you want to improve it, the only way you can improve it is like doing this and then starting by doing this and then starting by 0.
Well, usually it was you move the swappers numberings around and then you try.
Yeah, you can touch this. You can say, oh well, I will incrementally improve. No, if you touch anything, this breaks.
A lot of thinking in Mod 4 involved with this. Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations. I mean, this was not easy, I guess. We have divorce lawyer here with something that looks pretty similar to Darish one.
I just got a swapper over there.
This looks much simpler. I mean, it goes around, it picks up stuff, it bonds it 1, 2, and then 3 times. Because once you have done this, you can already bond it once, because this needs an extra bond, so you save more space, and then you bond it and output it. And like this is pretty similar to search one, but this just looks much simpler. Like you have more freedom. You could put this here if you didn't like the time. You could put this here if you didn't like the timing, or here, or this one could go here. Like this looks so much more flexible that you could believe that you could tweak it and work it some more. And in fact, it is also much faster because you don't have to the back and forth.
Yeah, the reloop is shorter.
And we have 3 bond plus. We will see later why we don't need 3. This we have atom mate, and atom mate goes yet again for the swap hammer because this was definitely the one of the best choices you could do. We will see there is another very good choice, but this looks like the simplest one. Where he puts one molecule into the blender, picks out the 2 pieces, put the other molecule into the blender. It has 1 cycle of waiting here that costs you nothing because we didn't see this in the last video because it was a cycle solution, but I think it's worth mentioning because it's a very common pattern. This kind of thing is called the wall flip-flop, and it is used to delay the Waldo by one cycle at 0 cost. Because when you hit it, this happens. The Waldo stops for a cycle and activates the flip-flop, and then the next cycles it follows the flip-flop. This is a one delay that is very useful in many symbol solutions because like this here you need to, there is this 4th cycle of swappers, and this extra cycles helps you hit it without wasting more symbols. And one is done and the other one is also done. We bond 3 times and we're done. Again, these 3 bonds look pretty bad, and I think here it's the right moment to show this. So let's run this to completion. This looks pretty simple because it's a B-nested loop, so you don't have that many arrows because you have 2 rectangles and it's done. So this looks pretty good at 24, and it's also pretty fast. Now let's look at this. You need to bond 3 times. I know there are solutions that will show this, but I think it's instructive to see a transformation you can do on a solution. Now, a flip-flop, if you put a flip-flop on a line, stuff like this, you pass through this square once when you go, once when you come back, and once when you go over. So now that we have a symbol we need to hit 3 times, we could get the idea of doing this. Because if we do this, we bond 3 times. Now I made the solution worse. I made the solution worse because this used to be 24 symbols and now it's 25. But these 2 symbols here are useless by the time we get here. So let me show what I mean. By the time we get here, this drop does nothing, and this grab also does nothing. So if we go all the way, we lose nothing. And so we do this. And this flip-flop, we can prime it. And so we do this. Now, this may or may not be the correct timing. This may be the correct timing. So I will need a moment to see if it's right. Oh, I'm lucky.
10. Oh, wow.
I'm lucky. 23 symbols. If I had chosen this one, this is too long, but it doesn't matter because the embed is later. So here, whatever timing I choose doesn't matter, because by this point all the timing issues are gone. There is nothing that is running around that I need to keep track of. Like the timing issues start on time here. From this point on, my life is timed because there is this cycle I need to make. But usually in symbol solution you are timed all the way because the timing is given by the other Waldo. And this is a really special case in which this stretch isn't timed. Yeah, I could put this earlier. I mean, optimizing this isn't the point of this moment. And now we have GG gold. Let's say the distribution is pretty. I mean, we will be the judge of that. And It looks pretty similar with the two concentric rectangles, but these choose to do a swap, to do a bond hammer instead of a swap hammer. And let's see.
It doesn't actually have two concentric rectangles.
No, I know they're in concentric, but I like the word concentric. Okay, and
It has three concentric rectangles. If you.
I mean, yeah, kind of. I guess. We have seen this happen already. We swap twice, we put them in place, swap once. Oh, actually, sorry, swap 3 times, put them in place again, bond, get them uploaded. And yeah, this looks pretty simple and similar to the other one. And I'm not sure where do we lose the extra symbol, probably into all these grab drops.
The extra drops on the swaps.
Yeah, because that made Adenizer move along. Like this one, he just had one, and I think the thing was rejiggered a bit, but he has one less grab drop grab thing. And so once you factor out that there is one flip flop here and one flip flop where, one swap, one bond, you come out in symbol short.
Yeah, I think these designs were a big surprise to Suriname, because in our heads, all these extra drops on the bonders looked like it would have to pay more, but it doesn't. Than our weird bonding back and forth thing.
Now we have Team 89, and they insisted to be paid for symbol round to learn symbols and whatever, and they didn't even win. I mean, I'm pretty disappointed, guys. I am pretty disappointed. But this looks pretty different, because this is a bond hammer. And where is the swap? It's here. I mean, the swap has to be in a crossroad, because it needs to be hit too many times to not be. And so we bond. Swap ons. We go back. Why are we doing?
That's the bond hammer. To get it bonded.
Oh yeah, to get it. This looks pretty complicated. Okay, so we are swapping 3 times, and this is fine. When we put this here, oh man, why? Yeah, it's clear. Because if you do it this way, you need to put it over and then go back and put it over. Okay, and this is needed, so it has just enough time.
Oh, that's nice on the bond.
Yeah, that's pretty clever.
Yeah, didn't consider that was why bond hammers could be very good.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, so it's it. Looks pretty bad that you can't put this flip flop. You can't put it here because you can't fit this handling over here, I think.
And then you wouldn't be able to do the bottom flip flop stall, right? So you were saying if you had a vertical line for the top part.
Yeah, you would adjust issues, or you cannot put bonders here. Yeah, this is pretty slow though, because you keep doing back and forth. Now we have empty space. Who is Team Empty Space?
It is, where's this teams list? Team Empty Space is Lazy Comet and username Void.
Yeah. Nice job, guys. This is a pretty good place for a team next to many established players ahead of several big names. Nice job, guys. And we have this.
I think, right?
With this is pretty much a solution. Pretty similar.
Yeah, this is similar to theirs.
No, it doesn't look similar. It doesn't look similar.
Well, it's opposite. It's going counterclockwise instead, but it's basically the same idea, right? Or what's that for? Yeah, no, it's the same idea.
Yeah, okay, so they come here, drop one.
The idea of having one loop and just a flip flop in the middle.
Yeah, this is the other approach. Instead of having the 2 rectangles, you have the flip flops with a grab drop, and then you need to bond here because you have a swap on. Yeah, this is pretty standard again. And this comes out at 23 because every point is reused. Like here, you already have an arrow. Here, it is primed. And here it's a symbol.
How did they save one symbol over Sir? I'm missing where that symbol is.
The one symbol over there.
I guess there's
I think
extra
it's
timing
here.
delay.
I think it's
Yeah.
here, because he had a
He had
more
the
complicated.
taken down part. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we could watch them side by side, but he had more complicated things, and they have this section is really streamlined.
Yeah. Okay, and they put all the inputs on. We'll see when we get to mine, but I had trouble because my middle flip.
Yeah, yours is not here because you aren't good enough
Yeah,
to
it turned off
compete with
missions, yeah.
with the big guys.
I was tied with Sir basically.
And now we have Team Bag, and Team Bag does sort of do rectangles, but they are squashed a bit together so that it's one less symbol. And again, I see 3 bonds. I see 3 bonds, guys. I see 3 bonds. And I should not see 3 bonds. I should not see 3 bonds. But we'll get it later. So this is the same as Atomate. You go directly in, so you don't need the additional drop. And because they have a simpler structure, they win 1 symbol compared to Atomate, but they don't use the trick, so they don't get 22, but they get 23. And I think this is the same solution as Atomate, because we go here, we get this right on time. I mean, the right on time is impressive, but not that impressive because this is timing, so the windows isn't as short as it seems. And here we are missing the trick. That will be easy to do because again, this whole section is not timed, so there is no hurry. Giggs says that the time was finicky to get, but yeah, I mean, I may have glossed this over, but like this is free to move anywhere, so the timing here is free, and this as a timing point, this as a time. I mean, this tree could move a bit over, and this is a timing point. This thing, like here, could be one on the left, and it's another timing point. There are a lot of windows, of timing windows in this solution. Of course, it's not obvious. Like this could be here, or it could be here.
Also interesting to note that in this solution, or maybe in one of the other ones we've seen before too, they put 1 molecule in at a time, which means that there's empty space on the swappers, which means that you don't have to have a drop. You're not going to accidentally be holding something that gets swapped in at the same time.
Yeah, that's true, because they come back onto the same loop, so they can do the reach one again.
If you put everything in at once, then you're going to have, no matter what, something's going to get swapped into your hand, so you have to drop too.
And now Darius one. Oh, this is another
Another
nice solution.
I didn't see blue at first. It was sitting on all the bonders. I was like, how did he do this loop?
And this is another bond swap line, but it does two of the rejiggerings, because the solution we have already seen just had one replacement. This is 2 replacement, and that lets red be a rectangle. Pretty nice stuff. So
you don't pay any extra arrows for the extra drops. Yeah.
Wait, is this a drop?
That is a drop.
Yes, because it doesn't want to keep carrying, because it does already input here. So if it doesn't drop, it will keep carrying whatever has swapped in from this is 3. So whatever has swapped in from here. And so blue has does this, and this is the flip-flop trick with bond, and then oh wait, I've lost the critical moment because blue does it. Yeah, exactly. Blue has placed all the pieces. And now red is just gonna come in and out of them. And red needs to wait to hit this output, because if it did it too soon, there is this molecule here, and it will output the wrong thing. I think it's 1 symbol too late and 1 cycle too late, but we will check it soon. So 316 23.
Because the blue grab means that.
Don't touch code you do not understand.
Yeah.
Don't touch code you do not understand. Counterpoint, extra cycle. Now we are down to 22, And
This
this
is
looks
also like,
extremely
so-
streamlined.
and
We have already seen this, and what is improved here is that this is better. Like we have already seen this thing, exactly the same, but this is here, so you don't need an extra arrow, because we've seen this exactly same solution, but with a flip flop and back arrow here, and this has all the streamlining pieces. The grab,
did need to drop, but that's because
it needs to drop. It needs to drop because it comes back just one time. So we will see the critical moment soon. Everything is in circle, so
Yeah.
if he doesn't drop, he will keep the carbon, and here it will crash.
Interesting.
So hey, nicely done.
So,
And this isn't here, I guess, for timing. Yeah, because you need to be here now and not 2 cycles later. And then we have the usual grab dropping things that you have when you have a single rectangle. 22, nice. And when we have Flexo, which is, well, I think this is the solution of Team Bag, but with the trick. Like, yeah, it's exactly that, with the same pathing, maybe slightly different timing, so we don't need the flip-flop here, but they have in another place. But it does the trick, so it's 22. I mean, congratulations to Flexo. This is a seriously good solution. Simple to watch. Very nice job. Very nice job. And now, before we go to first place, which is Toffot was actually in first place with this solution. And this solution has a bond swap hammer. Just you. And this is extremely impressive, because getting the timing down to with this kind of timing Waldo is really, really difficult. So still you have many timing windows, but you need to be really precise. Now, because he has this, he doesn't need to drop here, because it's not swapping, so it's not grabbing anything, and he is in time to grab here. He drops. He needs to bond here because the timing is pretty complicated, so by the time he is here, it's swap. This is, I mean, I have difficulty checking the time.
So this is because, yeah, he found the empty loop, the empty atom, so he didn't need to draw.
And then everything is in time, and now I just need to wait and bonds it. Here you do need to bond, because otherwise your incoming atom would crash.
Oh yeah, that was
Crash. But here you don't need to, so you just wait for red to do this. This is pretty impressive, and it was the number one solution for a good chunk of a week. So congratulations to Fot at 5:22. Slightly faster than Flexo, but then, like a few days ago, Toffot submitted this, that is 21, and by far the best solution, the only one to go to 25. He doesn't have the extra drop here, and even though here he has an extra arrow, but he doesn't have a flip-flop coming down. He has a flip-flop coming here, so it combines the nice parts of the combined rectangle and the nice parts of the double one.
Yeah,
this is
the double drop on the top and the flip-flop bounce back on the bottom.
Yeah, he has pretty much the best of both.
The
best of both worlds. Yeah, this is really great. This is really
the idea being that you already need a flip-flop in the middle anyway, so you might as well put a drop on it for the top one, and then to avoid that on the bottom one, you just do your bounce back. That's clever.
Yeah, this is well done. Yeah, because somewhere you need to go back, and may as well do this here, so you save. Yeah.
Normally you try and avoid doing normally you might want to try and avoid doing the double drops because it pays extra arrows, but in this case it saves. It's free.
Really nice job.
Nice.
Now this scope is lower, but it's not an issue if it's lower. This is the only 21 symbol solution, and so congratulations, Toffat. I don't know if you want to say something, because I see you are here on stream. Or well, I guess not.
Guess not.
Do you know if you want to write something that I can say on video? Guess not. Congratulations again. I mean, you have time to write something if you want me to say it, because now we will look at non-scoring solutions, and we will start with Ziggs, because Ziggs can submit for real, and so I give you the word, Zig.
Mm-hmm.
Explain it to us.
Oh, yeah, this is basically the same as SIRS, but instead of doing the timing in the corner, what I paid the cost of is in the top right kink. But my thinking going into this was, I don't want to have all 4 atoms on the swappers at once, because then I can't. Then I have to drop while I'm grabbing and putting things in swappers. So I do the inputs first and do the first half of the inputs with that initialization and flip flop, and then I do the second half in the second loop through.
I mean, these looks terrible.
Is that I had to make my rectangle 4 tall because I thought I needed all my commands in the middle flip-flop line, which probably wasn't true.
This looks terrible.
Yeah, so the reason I needed that was because I had to go that 4 tall rectangle for those 4 commands in the middle. So
you do need all the outputs to be here for real.
Yeah, it was pure coincidence that I was right in my guess that bottom would be 21, because I had that kink in the corner cost 2 symbols, and I had the drop, which I didn't want because my timing was bad. Also cost 2 symbols, so I happened to be 3 symbols over the limit, but for a completely different reason.
Yeah, this is sadly the timing isn't great, so you lose way too many symbols.
Yeah. But yeah, having to do that jog upwards just to meet the other rectangle was pretty sad.
Yeah, like this, you would like to put this arrow here, but then you...
Yeah, ideally the rectangle would be only 5 tall instead of 6.
Yeah, just a moment.
But I couldn't find anywhere that the input...
Yeah, because when you're here, you cannot output because you mess things up.
Yeah, and I also couldn't merge with that line because every command was critical.
Yeah,
and there was always something that happens.
Repeat. Okay.
I also considered the bond swap alternating, but it doesn't really help for this class of solutions, I don't think.
And now we have this solution by GG Gold, which wanted to show off a swap bond number. We already seen top thought one, so I will show this because he was nice and submitted it. And yeah, if top thought hadn't done his, this would have been the only solution of this kind that I had submitted. Because Resume said they had one, but I didn't see that. Don't know if I submitted it or I missed it. And this runs around so many times. I guess the timing was pretty hard. I mean, I'm not gonna analyze this, but all this flip-flop scream to me hard timing. My god.
Looks like a type. But yeah, the one wall flip-flop. Yeah.
And now for the memes. So we just have 2 meme solutions.
Wow.
We just have 2 meme solutions. So about the meme, I will not explain the meme because it's stupid, in all honesty. But I mean, like everything that is divided by 4, and we have things we can draw with, we can make a loss meme. So let's see this one. This one is by the way, Rock Band. And we have
is blue the second character and red the first?
Yeah, exactly. We have the second characters, like
right.
This one. This one is. How do you say this in English? She's horizontal. How do you say horizontal?
Lying down.
Oh, thank you. She's you have lying down, we have the other guy, but yeah, we have nothing on the inputs. This is a pretty shabby rendition, but thank you for trying.
And the gratuitous arrow just to mess with you on the bottom left.
I was thankful people did this. I was not going to talk about arrows, but let's talk about arrows. Yeah, sure. Okay, are you happy now? Are you happy?
No, there's one on the bottom left.
Where it is? Oh yeah, sure.
They got you.
I think I got them all. Like, I mean, we can also
We're
do
not gonna
we can
optimize.
also do this. I think if you want to nitpick this this
No,
poor
that's
guy's
part of the job. You
solution,
can't
like
change the path.
this is a symbol less. I think. Are you happy? I
No,
made.
you can't change the path. Just the just what's actually on it. Because
Sorry. I mean, I also barked it. I mean, something like this is gonna improve it. But anyway,
Right.
let's just do this. Let's just do this. Thank you, guys. And now this one by empty space, which I keep forgetting. They are lazy comet and
Lazy comment and
username void. This is amazing. This is amazing. Because you just can see
Oh
it
my
by the
God.
symbol count. They are going to do it. You know they are going
I
to do
see
it.
2 input betas and I'm scared.
They are going to do it. They are going to do it. So you see, we have 2 guys here. We have 1 guy here, and blue has done everything. And now blue is bonding, so this will form the output. And like blue is forming the other one. And when blue comes back and does the same thing yet again, bonds 1, bonds the other one. Like blue has just done the usual algorithm to complete the puzzle. Like that is bring over, swap twice, bring over, swap again, bring over. And now that it is done,
Red has to rotate that bottom stick.
it goes to the sink. Red comes here, brings it here, brings it here, and when blue does this again,
Why over there? Okay.
yeah, because you need 2 people here and here, so you do this twice.
Yeah. How
Use this
is Red
twice.
gonna not?
I
Oh,
sped it up
okay,
a bit
okay.
because we have already seen it.
Right, blue puts in the right spot for red. Okay. Fair enough.
And now blue hits the sink again. Red rotates this, drops it here, comes to grab this one, and now let me pause it at the Kotek time, because here we would restart, and here it is. My man, it's amazing.
That's right. Turn off both the Waldos.
I don't have the
Oh, you don't see?
319. Yeah, just a second. I turn on the option. I don't have this on usually. Here.
It's so fun seeing just only the modules.
Yeah, absolutely. Here it is, like cycle 319. For anyone wondering, I have the speeds set differently than normal. So
I didn't even notice.
okay, here we go. We are back at start. And where is red start?
To the far right.
Where he is? Okay, because
Far right
here he
middle.
has a little bit of initialization loop.
Yeah.
So he is actually a little bit ahead of his start. We idea. Man, it's amazing. This is amazing. If I can, I'm making this the thumbnail for the video.
Do it.
Yeah, just a second, because
Nice 40 FPS.
I think I have. I will screenshot it later, I guess. This is amazing. I want to thank. I want to thank so much Team Empty Space for going along with this shitpost, and like Team Empty Space win the jury shitposting grand prize. I mean, thank you very much. Amazing. And I think this is all I have for round 2. It's already an hour of shitposting and streaming, so I guess we'll cut it here to avoid boring people even more. I hope you guys had fun, and I see some people are writing, so I guess I will take some time to read. Everyone complimenting the amazing lost shitpost. Yeah, Zig, if you could get thought solution into the fun solutions by editing it manually, or by giving the tournament owner permissions to add fun solutions post closure, it would be nice, because I think top thought.
Yeah, there's not really any reason to disallow that, I suppose.
Yeah, because I think the tournament owner, you could allow the tournament owner backdoor on fund solutions to keep working after deadline.
Yeah, showing fund solutions. You have that power right now, I think. So if people submit after, you'll be able to see at least.
Yeah, the tournament owner can add them and it's fine. So I will close everything now. I thank you guys and see you next round.